Hey geeks, hey Kurt, this is Glen Kessler from Maryland, and I'm here with my 5-year-old birthday boy,
Harrison.
And we're in the Magic Kingdom on Easter Sunday, enjoying a wonderful day, and still going geeking on Walt Disney World.
Are you ready for a fun-filled hour of food favorites, resort hopping, and hanging out with Disney World geeks? It's now time to go geekin' on Walt Disney World. Here's our dad and co-host. Hollywood was impressed with his performance in crowd scenes at the Indiana Jones stunt show. He never misses an 11 a.m. margarita at the Mexican Pavilion. And Mike Wazowski is still raving about his performance as that guy over at Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Curtis Stone.
Hey, Disney World geeks. This week, one of my Fab 5 super geeks, Glen Kessler, and I review the best book and guide to Disney World ever with author Len Testa of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World and TouringPlans.com on episode 307 of the Geekin' on Walt Disney World podcast. I am your Geekin' Family Podfather, Curtis Stone, and we are the family-friendly father-daughter podcast, also featuring Mama, Auntie Judy, Soul Sister Holly, and cousins Jen and EJ. Our Geekin' family will feed your passion for Walt Disney World by sharing our experiences and opinions, as well as others from our community of passionate Walt Disney World geeks. I'm so excited you're here with us listening to our show. Geeky Disney people are awesome, and we consider you family, part of our Geekin' family. Join us every Monday as we share travel tips, resort reviews, and lots of food talk through our live trip reports, interviews with our Geekin' family members about their trips, and special guest roundtables on fun Disney World topics from Geekin' family members all around the world. And we take pride in the awesome and positive community in our Geekin' family, so come join us to share in our love for Walt Disney World and each other, and I bet you'll learn something to try on your next vacation. Your vacation is important. Rest, relaxation, and rejuvenation, and time with the family. I believe so much you need to make your vacation time a priority in your life, and the number one tip we hear from our Geekin' family super geeks is that you need to plan before you go to Disney World. You just can't wing it. And are you on a quest to conquer Disney World? When you're up against Disney World, you need the Force like Luke Skywalker used to conquer the dark side. Disney World has villains like Darth Vader. They got crowds and complicated choices, and every hero needs a guide. Luke had Obi-Wan and Yoda. You have Mama, Judy, Jennifer, EJ, and me. We'd love to be your guides. We help people book and plan Disney trips. We're Disney travel experts, and we're independent travel agents with Fairy Tale Concierge. Fairy Tale Concierge is an authorized Disney vacation planner agency, and let our team explain it all to you and help you create a great plan with fast passes, dining reservations, and tips on the best rooms and resorts in Disney World. Hey geeks! Well, we've had the pleasure over the years to bring on several authors from the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World, and this book and series is by far the best resource you can get for your Disney travels. Well, except also including us as your travel guide. Check out in our archives all of the other interviews that we've done on the Universal Studios, the Disney Cruise Lines, going to Disney World with kids version of the book, and Disneyland. I want to thank Lillian Opsomer from the Unofficial Guides for continuing to help me bring on these amazing people and authors. I can't believe I waited 3 years to bring Len Testa back onto the show. I always want to have some great topics to review with their authors, especially with Len, and I try to make our interviews fresh for them, so it's not the same old interview you hear from some other places. That they get interviewed a lot because the book is so popular, and I want them to enjoy being on the show. So thanks again to our geeks for sending in some of your questions. It makes it really easy on Glen and I to have your questions. It makes it fun for Len too, and the authors that come on the show. Let me give you a heads up on what kind of things we reviewed with Len Testa. We got to talk about what's new this year in the book. Mama loves to get this book every single year. This is the 2020 version of the Unofficial Guide. He's got a lot of new things that are happening, especially the way that they edited and went through the book this particular year. I love this question that they asked this year, and they put it in the very first part of every chapter of the book. It's awesome. What is the thing that you didn't know before you were going to Disney World for the first time? Great question. I think I might take that question and bring it into my trip reports with you guys. We review my top 3 restaurants and how the guide rated them, because last time I had Len on the show, we reviewed some resorts. So I thought we'd go into food and take a look at the restaurant ratings. Why is Ohana 3 stars in the book? Is Ohana... Hey, we've asked this question, I know, in the Geekin' family. Is Ohana rushing us out to turn those tables around quickly? We review the Flying Fish restaurant in Boma. Those are my top 3 restaurants at Disney World. Also, the California Grill we talked about. We talk about the new program Disney's coming out called the Disney Genie. He explains what touringplans.com is. We talk about the crowd levels at Galaxy's Edge. Of course, that's on the cover of the book. You got to talk about Star Wars and Galaxy's Edge. And we get into the Star Wars Hotel. You know, Len has all these insider tips. Definitely check him out on his podcast whenever you want to get that insider Disney company information. Talk about the park attendance versus the revenue for Disney. We get on a little bit of a soapbox during this time. One of the things we're really looking forward to is the Skyliners, which has opened now since we recorded this. Very exciting. People are starting to ride and send us videos on the Disney Skyliners, or we like to call them the gondolas. And then I get into the Geekin' family questions. How many hours go into producing the book? What about those crowd calendar challenges we've seen of late? Len gives us some explanation around the crowd calendar challenges. How do new attractions impact the crowd calendar? And there's been a lot of those lately, like Toy Story Land and, of course, Star Wars. Kevin Curtis Allen with his hard-hitting question about Jammy Dodgers. That was fun. Thank you, Kevin, for that question. And then we finish up talking about the Fast Pass Plus system. Well, are you ready to geek on Walt Disney World? Then come along with Glenn and I as we go geeking on Walt Disney World with the Unofficial Guide's Len Testa. Well, I was so excited, not only because I got new headphones. You know, when they come from Amazon, they tell you when they're 9 stops away. That is totally geeky. And then when they get 2 stops away, and I was getting nervous they were going to make it here in time. So I got new headphones, and I got 2 awesome guests. One's going to be my co-host tonight, and you guys all know this guy. Let's bring my co-host on. He's guesting for me. He was the first listener to sport a Geekin' t-shirt in the parks. He sees parks hours of operation as a direct challenge. He'll never try camping in a tent at Fort Wilderness again. He was first to coin the phrase, it's 11 a.m. somewhere. And I think our guest is going to love that reference too. Please give a warm Geek and Family welcome to Super Geeker Glen Kessler. Thanks for co-hosting with me, Glenn.
My pleasure, Kurt. Hello, geeks. How y'all doing? Super thrilled to be on tonight with you, Kurt, and this amazing podcaster, writer, and just good guy all around.
Absolutely. He's awesome. We're going to bring him on right now. So let me tell you, the Polynesian is his favorite resort. He's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And sorry, Len, for the Patriots beating up on you there this past Sunday. I apologize.
Hurts a little bit.
From the Northeast, I apologize. He's willing to forfeit his race time in the Disney Marathon to run up the Mexican pyramid and into the La Cava Tequila for a taste of tequila. He purchased metal prison tins so that his wet food never touches his dry food. That's a fact, right?
It's true. I was talking about it this weekend at Food and Wine. Like, why? It was a shepherd's pie thing. But go ahead. Keep going.
I got one more. Bob Selinger told us that it was as magical when Bob found Len for the Unofficial Guide to Disney World book and touringplans.com as it was for Bruce Springsteen when he found Clarence Clemens to join the E Street Band. Please give a warm Geek and Family welcome to Len Testa. Hey, Len.
How's it going, Kurt? Hey, Glenn. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
I can't believe it's been 3 years. I was looking back.
Can't believe it either.
Yeah, huh? Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. We got to do this more often.
Sometimes, even like Glenn, he comes on all the time, and I'll look up and I'll go, my gosh, it's been a year since you've been on the show. But
it's crazy.
I thank Lillian for connecting us. I was thinking back. I was trying to remember how I got the connection with the Unofficial Guide. I think she reached out to me when we were a young podcast. Had Bob Selinger first on. That was an awesome. I was like so thrilled having you guys on the show. So welcome back. Yeah, welcome
Thanks
back.
for having me, man.
So we got to get caught up on what's new in the Unofficial Guide. There's some great things, obviously, going on at Disney World, and who better than for have Len come on here and talk to us about this. And so we're going to alternate some questions between Glenn and I, and the audience that we call the geeks. They've offered up some questions too. So are you ready, Len?
I'm super excited. Go ahead.
All right. Well, let's start with an easy one. Like, what's new with this? I got to tell you, Mama, my wife, she said this book was the definitive guide. We started back in 1999 to go to the parks and learn everything besides, I think, Diz boards. Those were like the two things that we had back then. And one question she wanted me to ask you is, can she possibly find and collect the old editions? How far back does this book go?
You can do it. So at one time before I moved, I had a copy of every edition dating back to 85, the first edition.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it took up an entire bookshelf, like 6 feet long. The book these days is, over 800 pages, but the one you want is the first edition if you can find it. And you can get them on eBay for under $20.
Really? I got to search. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're great for a couple of reasons. One is you can read about the old attractions that are no longer there and what Bob's take was on it.
Yeah. And
then you can see the other thing I would get would be the 99 or the 2000.
Yeah.
You should get the 1990 edition because that will contain the beginning of Hollywood Studios, and then the 99 or 2000 edition when Animal Kingdom opened, and you can get our first take at those new rides that were opening. But you can see Bob's impression of Monster Sound Show, and things like that. And those are great to have. So I
love this.
You can get them all on eBay. I mean, and for the later ones, from the 2000s on, you can get them for $1 each plus shipping.
Oh my gosh. You just gave me some Christmas presents ideas. I mean, she's serious about that. She loves collecting these.
The first time I went to Bob's house, he has on his bookshelf the first edition of every title that he either authored or co-authored. So he had an original Unofficial Guide, and I was like, and the spine was never broken, no one had ever read it,
nice
or anything. So I was like, I got to get one of these and do it. But that was that. So the new things in this edition, we did a couple of. It's the biggest change we've made to the book in probably 10 years. We started off with a couple of things. One was we completely edited the entire book, read every word on every page. And we tried to do a few things. One was as we read through a topic, we asked ourselves a couple of questions. And the first question was, does this topic belong in this chapter?
Yeah.
And, for transportation stuff, there's a transportation chapter. For the Magic Kingdom stuff, there's a Magic Kingdom chapter. But things talking about My Disney Experience or wheelchairs, right? You could do that in a lot of chapters. And we had done it. We had sort of spaced out the conversation so that we addressed certain topics in multiple points in the book. And so we decided to move all of them into a single place. Yeah. So now there's a single chapter where we talk about everything that is My Disney Experience, what it means to make a dining reservation or fast pass reservation, all in one place.
Nice.
The other thing that we did was, by the way, that reduces a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
In the book. So the book is actually 50 pages smaller this year, 40 pages smaller. Even though we added a bunch of new stuff for Galaxy's Edge.
Right.
The other thing that we did was this. So our major research project this year was on usability for the book, and we started off by asking not only our readers but travel agents. We asked them this question, and Kurt and Glenn, I will ask you this question now.
Yeah, awesome.
What is the thing that you didn't know before your first trip to Walt Disney World?
Wow, that's a tough one.
I know the thing that comes to my mind that always blows my mind, because I didn't know this till probably my third trip to Disney World, and that was that there were awesome restaurants in the resorts. And really? I don't know if I'm just a dope, but that was my thing.
Huge, big question. Where can I eat at my resort? One of the top questions. Glenn?
And I just think I didn't know that you had to plan as much. I just thought you go to an amusement park.
Also one of the big things. So we asked travel agents these questions. We asked users these questions. And we ended up with like the top, I don't know. Well, there were like 100 things that were mentioned a few times. So we took the top of those questions, like what is Fast Pass, or what do I do if my child is too small for a ride?
Yeah.
And we put them at the top of each chapter in a section called things you should know. And basically it says here's the question. What is the Fast Pass ride reservation system and how do I use it? Or here's another question. What do I do if my child is too small for a ride? And then we tell you on what page in that chapter answers that question.
Yeah. But
the things that people didn't know about, especially first time visitors, kind of surprised me. There were questions about that we got that were can I walk between the theme parks?
Yeah, a friend of mine said the same thing. I meet with on a regular basis, and he doesn't know Disney World at all. He said, I think the thing that gets me is I think I'm going to a Six Flags.
Yeah. But with multiple, where it's a bunch of Six Flags across the street from each other,
right?
Right. But in Disneyland, if you've been to Disneyland, you could definitely walk from park to park, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're not walking from the Magic Kingdom to Epcot. You're just not.
That was one of the things that blew me away was just the immensity. Just the busyness and the way the traffic was flowing. I was down at the Downtown Disney hotels was my first experience there. And I was going to a conference at the Dolphin and Swan and it was all sold out. So they put me downtown there, but just arriving at that spot right there, I went, whoa, there's something big going on here. And I had no idea. Yeah. So so those were just conveying how big Disney World is and how you get around, how long it takes to see those things. That's, the bulk of the first chapter now. Right.
The other interesting questions we got were a surprising number of people, for example, assumed that you got some sort of free continental breakfast at your Disney hotel every morning, because if you go to a Holiday Inn Express or a Marriott, they sort of do the same thing.
Yeah.
And so, that's not true.
Right.
There were the usual number of people who thought Disney and Universal theme parks were basically the same thing. That you could buy one ticket and see all of it.
Len, I'll give you a funny one. My daughter did the college program. She did a couple of tours, but she worked at the beach club in the merchandising for a little while. And she said this happened a lot. Guests would come in and say, "Hey, where's Disney World?" And she's like, she said that happened
and all around you.
She's like, guess what? You're here. And they're looking at it. They're like two heads, she's like, they meant Magic Kingdom is what they meant.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So we did a lot of that. What is Disney World, explaining the 4 parks and things like that. Yeah. But so we did that. And so now each chapter begins with the most common set of questions. And what we tell readers is this: if you know that's what you're looking for, right? If you know you have questions about Fast Pass, then that's where to find it in the chapter. But we also said this, if we're using a term like Fast Pass or Rider Swap or Disney Dining Plan, and you're not familiar with that, go read that section because it's probably important. Right? These are the questions that come up over it.
How do you do these surveys? Do you have a group of people that? Is it through your website or?
For this particular project, we asked a bunch of travel agents that we knew, plus we surveyed some users that we selected from the website. But we have a survey on our website that hundreds of thousands of people have used.
Okay. Good.
To give us information. So we get every year, for example, we get more than 150,000 restaurant reviews just from Walt Disney World every year.
That was the thing I wanted to review with you this time. Last time we reviewed the resorts and the readers poll.
Yeah.
So I want to hit food this time with you, and I'm going to stay focused on because there's just this book is loaded.
The other thing that we did this year, and this is related to restaurants and rides, is this. How in the unofficial guide we'll give a rating. For restaurants, we'll give you a thumbs up %, which is basically the percentage of readers who have eaten at this restaurant and have given it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Right? It's a very binary, simple yes, no sort of question, encompassing the food quality, the price, the atmosphere. Basically the value. Would you eat here again? That's a good way of putting it.
Right.
So we do that, right? In the past editions, we've shown that number next to the restaurant. Pecos Bills, or Be Our Guest, 86% thumbs up.
Right.
The problem with that we noticed was that we weren't providing context around that number. So if you've never been to Walt Disney World before, or you haven't read the part in the book where we say the average thumbs up for every restaurant is like 89%, right? If you miss that part, then you would look at 86% and say, geez, that's almost 9 out of 10 people who like it. It must be good. I'm going to go there.
Yep.
So now what we do in the 2020 edition of the book is we provide context, and we say this percent is either above average, very much above average, it's excellent, it's above average, it's average, it's below average, or our lowest rating is don't eat here. Like, we could not be more explicit about that. But we do that now for every restaurant. We provide context around the rating, and we do the same thing for each ride, right? So if the average rating in Walt Disney World for a ride is, depending on the park, is around 4 stars out of 5. But so if you look at something and it's like 3.7 stars or 3.75, it's actually so much below average that you should probably not go on it unless you really know what you're doing, right? There are better things to pick.
Yeah.
So providing contect around it. But
Nice.
go ahead. You have questions about restaurants?
Well, I got a bone to, it's not with you. I didn't want, I want this to, so I'm going to pick my 3 favorite restaurants and we're going to talk about the rating, but you gave some great context around that. But now I guess I'm getting even more upset because my number 1 restaurant on Disney World property is Ohana. And my poll,
Sorry.
my polling has been pretty accurate on this. Like, I would say 100% everyone agrees with me that comes on there. Maybe they're just being nice to me, Len. Maybe that's what this is telling me. But
100% of everyone in your family that. All right.
I'm talking about my audience, the Geekin family. So, but
all right.
Yeah, this. Okay. So you do 5 stars too, and Ohana got 3 stars, 89%, which is average. So that upset me. I just got. What do you think of Ohana?
When was the last time you ate there?
January.
Okay. I've eaten there a little bit more recently than that. Here was the reason why I ate there most recently. We started getting emails from readers who said that they felt rushed eating at Ohana.
I did get this feedback too, actually, in our Facebook group.
And what they were saying was that, so we did some asking around, and we determined from people in the Disney food and beverage team that there was an emphasis put on making sure that tables were turning over in a timely fashion. And here's what precipitated that. Remember last year when Disney added alcohol to the dining plan?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, apparently what happened was they didn't consult the food and bev team responsible for assigning tables and ADRs, right? So like, you know how like ADRs work where you get a table at 5 o'clock and the ADR system is going to assume you're there for, 75 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. When alcohol got added to the menu, it added 2 more round trips for the server to each table. one to explain to people that alcohol is now on the menu and here are your options.
Wow.
And then they had to come back. They had to give people time to think about it, and then had to come back with the drinks. And then maybe there's another trip involved if the kids were. But anyway, the extra time that it was taking the servers to explain the thing, get the drinks, serve the drinks, and then follow up with any additional drinks or whatever, was extending the amount of time that people were spending at the table. Wow. And as a result, the ADR templates that said, everyone's going to be gone in 75 minutes were wrong.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So the longer that the night went on, the more backed up the systems got.
Oh,
so as a result,
I see. So they were trying to accommodate more people coming in. Sure. They have ADRs.
So if every table is off by 5 minutes, right? At the end of
I got you.
And dinner starts at 5, by 9 o'clock, you're 15 to 20 minutes behind.
Yeah.
And God forbid God forbid everybody's 10 minit's behind because by 9 o'clock, you're 30 minutes behind, right?
And the guests are thinking they just want to turn the tables to make more money.
Exactly. Where it's, so it was a case, I think, of, 2 different groups, but, trying to do their jobs, but maybe not having the right set of communication there between the two, or the implications between them.
Very interesting.
But are you seeing that at other restaurants, or is that just Ohana? Because I'm hearing that at Ohana, but not other places,
So we started getting emails from readers saying that like Ohana is crazy now. So we booked a dinner at Ohana and I brought my stopwatch. And
really?
Because that's
what you do.
Component of fine dining, right? So, and this was my experience. We sat down, and by the way, my dinner reservation was at 3:45 p.m. because that's what I could get. Yeah. Fine. So I sit down. Within 2 minutes, we had I think salad is the first course.
Yeah.
So drink orders were taken, salad was. 4 minutes after that, we got our dumpling, wing, noodle appetizer. And then every 4 minutes from that point on, another thing of food came. So I think you start with steak, then they go with the sausages, then the chicken or turkey, then the pork. So basically, we had one complete meal, one round of everything, 20 minutes after we sat down.
Yeah.
And by 35 minutes after we had sat down, they had already come around for seconds and were asking if we wanted dessert. We could have been completely, had we wanted to eat that fast, we could have been completely done with dinner and left in 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You can't eat that much food that fast. It's just not possible. Right?
Or shouldn't.
It's not good for you.
It's not healthy, right? It's not. And in looking around, right, that was the experience that everyone around me had. Like we after we got to the desserts, we decided to just sit and talk because again, I'm not going to eat that much food and then get up and go to a theme park. It's just not right. So we took an hour, maybe an hour 10.
Right.
But by that time, the vast majority of families had left. And there were times, like I said, when my daughter was very young, where that would have been the perfect meal for me. Like in and out. I don't want to,
Yeah, right.
She's tired. I don't want to linger here. Let's go take a nap and we'll go to the parks. But the server recognized that we were all adults. Right? We should have gotten a different pace.
Yeah.
For things.
Yeah. No, we've heard, that's funny because we have seen that too. We've heard that, but all right, I'm going to move on to another one of my favorites, probably my favorite signature, Flying Fish, which it's good. It got 4 stars. I mean, my argument there, I wish it got 5 because I think it's the best for me. I always enjoy Flying Fish. What do you think of Flying Fish?
So quality, I think, is improved with the new menu. I mean, 4 stars is very good. They're the only 5-star restaurant in the entire unofficial guide is Victorian Albert's. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, all right, good.
There are no Flying Fish will never be a 5-star restaurant. It's just it can't.
Yeah, I like the atmosphere
in that location.
Yeah.
It can't be 5 stars.
All right, gotcha. Okay, I'm happy then.
The best it could probably do is 4.5, and that's actually Takumi Bay.
I got another one that's 4.5. The next one I'm going to tell you. So go ahead.
All right. Yeah, the best it could probably do is 4.5, just because it's to get that 5th star is. You basically have to, it's like getting a Michelin star. You've got to be good. It's good. I like the new menu. I think the service is excellent.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they're playing around with the menu. What do you think about the new interior?
We like it. Yeah.
I do too.
We like the refresh. Yeah. I love that open. I love the open air with the, the chefs right there. It's got a casual atmosphere. I have always said this. I don't know why that place just seems to have the best servers on property for us. And I get that same feedback from our listeners.
Yeah, it's a good restaurant. It's very solid.
Yeah. Okay. So this is interesting then. Now that you gave me the stars explanation, but another one of my favorites, Boma, Flavors of Africa, 4.5 stars. Yeah. Now you'd think they'd be trying to turn that one over too.
Yeah. Boma doesn't have because Boma is so consistently busy and it's away from the parks. Yeah. I don't think it has and it's also huge. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
It doesn't have the same sort of pressure. Also, the fact that you get your own food and servers can't control the pace.
Yeah. Right. Yep. True.
Gives it a different vibe than Ohana. There's nothing wrong with Boma. The service is excellent. Food is consistently good. Yeah. Always one of the highest rated restaurants in Walt Disney World. In fact, I think in this edition of the guide, we say between Boma, Jiko, and Sanaa, it's like 3 of the top 5 or 6 restaurants in Walt Disney World. Like if you like animals and you like food, just book a stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
I know.
Right? It's the only thing you have to think about.
Yeah, and then add in Animal Kingdom that has some outstanding food choices too, with Tiffin's and the Satuli Canteen is getting.
Satuli Canteen is very good. Yeah, I like Flame Tree Barbecue.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Tiffin's has actually slipped a little bit.
Okay.
In the last year, but their counter service dining at Animal Kingdom is very good.
I love the Nomad Lounge too.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Again,
excellent service, inventive drinks. They're not like super sweet like most Disney drinks are, but yeah, good stuff. Yeah, but Boma, fantastic.
Love that explanation, Len. Great job. Well, hey, Glenn, I'm sorry. I could talk all night to to Len, but let's.
I know. I was laughing. I was like, that didn't take you long to get into food, Kurt.
Well, the California Grill is also a 5-star rated thing.
Is it? Oh, okay. Good.
This is where me and the dining review team don't agree. I don't think it's that good.
Okay.
They do.
So we've heard some complaints of the food at California Grill. The thing that people are telling us they love is the Sunday brunch? The Sunday brunch.
Yeah. They're if you're willing to spend, what is it, $90 for brunch?
I know it's expensive. Yeah.
But everyone I've talked to is like, if you're going to spend $90 and you can sit there for 3 hours, you need it. But what I would say is, if you're staying there, it's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah,
if you're staying or if you're staying on the monorail, resort, then yeah, you eat, you go back, you take a nap, and that's your thing you did that day.
That's right. Love it. All right.
We're doing. My wife and I are going in March. We're going to stay at the Polynesian, and we're doing that on our departure day. So just fill up, get on the plane, roll home.
You'll be out. I mean, the plane will be taken up. You'll be asleep. A food coma.
It's a good way to go home.
Awesome. Well, Len, if I can ask you a question, this is the big question, I think, right now to ask you. Disney Genie, thoughts? You've been in this space for 20 years. You created value where there was a need. I know you're probably proud that Disney took notice of what you guys have been doing all along, but what does it mean for touring plans?
What is the Disney Genie? Starting there.
So Disney Genie was an announcement that Disney did at D23 back in the last week of August. And it's I'll read from Disney's website. It's a revolutionary new digital offering set to debut in late 2020. It will enhance the way you plan for an experience, a trip to Walt Disney World. Disney Genie will make it planning easier and more fun by providing customized itineraries and geared to your interests, right at your fingertips. Yada, yada, yada. Sometimes you may know exactly what you want to do, but may not know the best time or order in which to do it. You'll be able to tell Disney Genie what you would like to experience, and it'll quickly evaluate millions of options to present you with an optimal day. Best of all, it's flexible. If you change your mind for any reason, Disney Genie will re-optimize your day. So shout out to Disney communications manager Avery Mayer, who had to write that. I know Avery must have looked at a lot of things that I had written to get that specific language. You're welcome. By the way, if you go into the Disney Parks blog, do you see what the first comment is? The first comment is from Sharon. Sharon, I love you. The first comment is, somebody tag Len Testa. And Disney kept it up. Great. Really funny. Thank you, Disney.
Shout out to Len. I love it.
I know. Little way on the Disney Parks blog. All right. So I can't talk a lot about it because I may or may not know people who are working on it. What I can say is this: if you look at the screenshots, it's not what Touring Plans does. It's vaguely similar, but it's not the same sort of thing. And in particular, I don't think it's going to be to the minute planning like we do.
Mm-hmm. It looked very gestalty. It looked like here's the whole day in a big bundled bow, go, as opposed to touring plans, which seems I've used it before. It's much more modular, much more interactive, I think, and requires, I think, a little bit more familiarization with Disney. If you're on to touring plans, you've maybe read the guides already. You're starting to become more attuned. So I don't know. I mean, are they trying to target people who have never been to Disney? Those people you were asking us about, like, what's that first question that you didn't know that you didn't know to ask? And then just marching them around the park with an itinerary. Is this like a VIP guide forcing them to go here and there? Or, is there more customizability on the horizon for it? Thoughts?
So again, I can't talk a lot about it. I think it's more of a loose. So I mean, you can see this from the screen, right? If you zoom in on the screen samples that they give, you can see that it's not a step-by-step, minute-by-minute guide. It's broken up into like, here's some things to do in the morning, here's some things to do in the late morning, here's some things to do in the early afternoon, here's some things to do in the late afternoon. And I think that's. I mean, we can just talk about that. That's what's on the screen. So I'm assuming that's their intent, right? Mm-hmm. Jim Hill had talked about this a while ago on our Disney Dish podcast, and Jim has been saying for years that Disney's goal was to get you to do instead of the 3 fast pass experience that you have now, 10 quote experiences, and the experiences could be anything. They could be meals, they could be character greetings, they could be Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, they could be rides, right? But the idea is that you plan out 10 things, and 10 is the average number of things that people do in a given day in a Disney theme park, and present that schedule to them.
Yeah. Well, this is probably a good point to say, Len, just to take a step back. I mean, touring, all of us know, but for anyone who's listening that doesn't know, I mean, the Unofficial Guide has been known for your touring plans. So give us that basic of all that research that you guys do and what you continue to do. And how do you keep up with what Disney World is adding all the time? I mean, it's like insane. How are you guys researching and getting this done now these days?
So we have a huge team of people that do it. But basically, touring plans is this. It started with Bob Salinger in the Unofficial Guide, who you guys had on. But way back in 1985, Bob had this idea that you could use math to figure out how to avoid lines in Walt Disney World. So if you came up with a list of attractions, you could use math to analyze traffic patterns in the park and figure out the order in which you should ride the rides to minimize your wait in line. So we worked with MIT on that, developed the first set of touring plans for the guide. I read the book in the mid 90s. I was doing graduate school in computer science. After I read the book the first time, I had two ideas. One was I'm going to write a computer program that does this, and two, I want to write this book. Like not I want to write a book like it, but I want to write this book.
Yeah.
So I contacted Bob. We got together and we wrote the touring plan software that's in use today. And what that does is basically what we thought it should do. You give it a list of attractions, and it tells you the time that you're coming to the park and any breaks you're taking, or any meals you're taking, or any fast passes you've got, and it'll figure out the optimal schedule that minimizes your wait in line throughout the entire day.
Right. So
we've done like over 25 million touring plans since 2011. Yeah, so we have some experience in this area.
Yeah, that's one way to say it. Yeah. So when like the new land comes on, Toy Story,
like Galaxy's Edge,
or Galaxy's Edge, you got the whole team go in there and start analyzing and adding that to the program.
So we generally start a year ahead of time, or more than a year ahead of time, like 18 months.
Okay.
So we've got 2 full-time people to work on this. Fred, our data scientist, Steve, our statistician, and they will start looking at models, create basic models that predict the wait time.
Yeah.
At those rides throughout the day, and we look at things like how popular we think the ride is going to be, where it's going in the park, what Disney says the capacity is going to be. And things like that. And we'll sort of like rough out a model and say, this attraction is like that attraction in terms of capacity or in terms of demand. And we can start roughing out what we think the demand is going to be, like how many people are going to get in line for it at any given time. And sometimes we're able to look back and say, like, this ride is going to be like that, right? Like Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to Epcot, it's going to look like, it's going to have the same capacity. It's going to basically be the same ride as in Paris, but in a different place.
Yep.
So we take that into account. We know what the hourly capacity is. We take into account the fact that it's going to be one of the few kid specific rides, like targeted to kids in Epcot, but also it's going to be in the back of the park. Right. So how does that affect traffic flow and things like that?
Yeah.
So we start building models 18 months out, and then we continue to refine them based on things like the U.S. economy, the state of the current parks, public school holidays, a bunch of stuff like that. And then once it opens, then we refine the models even more. Like as we start getting wait times throughout the day, from when rides open, then we'll update our models even more.
Well, is Galaxy's Edge in California and in Florida driving you absolutely insane? Because
it did not. The wait times are not as high as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I mean, we got great reports from Disneyland that people were getting in without much problem whatsoever. I mean, I can remember when this was announced, people in my audience, I was shocked that their initial reaction was like, this is going to be insane. I'm going to wait. And I was like, wow, I didn't really expect that reaction from people. What do you think's going on, Len, both California and here in Florida for Galaxy's Edge in terms of crowd?
It's in Walt Disney World. It's only been about a couple of weeks. One of those weeks was a hurricane. So
tough. It is tough.
Tough call. But in Disneyland, if you look at the overall sort of crowd level from May when it opened to today, it's about the same year-over-year crowd level as it was pre-Galaxy's Edge. I think a couple of things. If Disney could redo the rollout, they would do a couple of things different. One, I don't think they would use the reservation system for 3 weeks like they did. That kept a lot of people away for the first 3 weeks.
Yep.
Then and I don't think, like in World, I don't think they would do the 6 a.m. extra magic hours again, because it's a ghost town those first couple hours in World that it's been open.
Wow.
The other thing I think that hurt Disney in general with this is they opened with the lesser of the two rides.
Yes.
Right. So Millennium Falcon, I maintain. I think the big problems with the land is this: there are three. One, all the good things are upcharges. Right. I think the lightsaber experience is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think building a droid is fantastic. Those are $200 and $100 extra per person.
Right.
On top of whatever it costs to get in the park.
Yep.
That's expensive.
Yep.
I think Millennium Falcon is a decent ride, but not a great ride. And there's nothing else to do in the land besides those two things. Besides spending an extra $100 or $200 or going on a ride that's just okay.
Yeah. How's the food?
Food's very good. The milk is not. The milk is just average. But
good to know.
Well, and Len, they've talked a lot about the Disney Play app being something that you could interact with the parks. Did they overestimate how much people would play with that?
Yes, I think so. And the other thing is it's. I tried using the app in Disneyland. I found it difficult to navigate and ultimately frustrating, and I gave up on it. I don't think that people are going to play those games. I haven't seen yet people play those games in the park the way that they do, like Pokemon Go or anything like that. I think that's what they were going for, and it didn't. So the other thing is the land's not very dynamic. Like, there's no water, there's nothing moving. You can hear sort of like the sounds of transport ships that are supposed to be going around you, but it lacks that sort of dynamic element that you see. It lacks that sense of movement that you see in every other Disneyland. And I'm told that part of it was they were originally planning for drones to fly over you to make it look like spaceships were flying. But obviously you can't fly drones over crowded people because it goes wrong. Right. So that was nixed early on. So a lot is riding on Rise of the Resistance opening in December. It's got to be. I was having this talk with Jim Hale earlier today. It was like, everything they open between now and next year has to be very good. Like the Space Restaurant in Epcot has to be very good.
Yeah.
Rise of the Resistance has to be as good as people are saying. Ratatouille Adventure has to be as good as we think it's going to be. Runaway Railway has to be, better than we think it's going to be. Otherwise, there'll be some serious questions about, what kind of attractions the modern Disney company can deliver in theme parks.
Interesting. Well, I wonder if they're waiting on Rise of the Resistance and they've seen lower crowd attendance when the land is half baked, if they put some of those drones, or I've heard about live
entertainment
happening, on
live entertainment
battles and things, more characters walking around. If they bring some of those back, maybe maybe this is a good thing.
I wouldn't be surprised to see more live entertainment. There's also a decent chance that they, if they want to double down on it, they could just greenlight the third attraction. There's an expansion pad in both parks, right? If people realize that there's not enough to do.
So I was excited. I was excited to hear of the hotel concept. Can you talk more about that announcement? I had not seen that coming. That it was going to be an experience as well as a hotel.
Yeah, we kind of knew it. And there were a couple of giveaways. One, did you guys read the academic papers published by Disney Research in Zurich?
Every night.
So they had,
I've missed the last edition, but so go ahead.
How do you subscription lapsed? Me too. But last year they had published this interesting article, and it was a computer algorithm to do the following. Let's say you've got 100 or 200 people playing a game where they're all playing a game, but they need access to the same rooms, but at different times. How do you schedule it?
Yeah.
So that each group of people out of those, hundreds gets access to the room by themselves. So you can imagine how in a Star Wars hotel with a couple hundred guests, how an algorithm like this would be useful, right? Like, if you're LARPing Star Wars and you're going to fight Darth Vader by the tractor beam, you don't want to be in a lineup of 40 people deep getting ready to fight Darth Vader. You want to be the only person around.
Right.
So this algorithm, this computer program that they wrote, figures out that scheduling thing. And when we read that, we sort of knew, like, the first question is, well, why would Disney Research be working on this?
Yeah.
They're working on it for that reason. The other thing was that there were a series of patents that Disney had filed around lightsabers a few years ago, and that we were tracking. And I thought it was going to be for Rise of the Resistance for the ride. The more we knew about Rise, and the fact that none of that was in there, like none of the patent technology was in there. Like there were patents on, like, how do you make blaster fire look to deflect off of a lightsaber, right? How do you do that in real life? Or how do you make it look like a lightsaber is cutting through a metal door in real life?
Oh wow, yeah,
right. And when we didn't, and I thought, both of those things to me sounded like Rise of the Resistance, but it turns out it wasn't Rise; it's for the hotel.
Cool,
amazing.
That is, yeah.
And you saw some of that in the concept art, right? You saw the one of the concept arts. There's a girl with a lightsaber, and she's doing the drone training, like Luke did in Episode 4, and that's what the patent was describing.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we sort of put that all together. We sort of knew had clues about how it was all going to work. The other thing that we had heard was that we knew that there were going to be 2, 3, and 4 day adventures. It looks like they're starting off with a 2-day adventure. And we heard it was going to be cruise-like. And when the person that we talked to about it said it was going to be cruise-like in terms of pricing. So everyone's going to pay basically the same amount per day as a fixed base. What we didn't know, and we should have put it together at the time, is that like a cruise, everyone gets on the ship on the same day and everyone departs on the same day.
Yeah.
And that's another way that they're going to keep the story synchronized, right? They're not going to have to worry about 200 people each checking in, half on one day, half on another. Everyone's going to check in on the same day. The story's going to start at the same time, and then the story's going to end at the same time too. Very interesting. Makes sense.
I'm curious how they're going to enter into Batuu, because you pay all these thousands of dollars to participate.
Right.
You don't want to walk around and see people in their Mickey Mouse T-shirts.
Yeah. So I heard that there's a specially designed transport, like a bus or a car that will look like a land transport. It'll be heavily themed, possibly with windows like in the hotel, where you guys know how Hogwarts Express runs, and I'm guessing something like that.
Cool.
Make you think you're in outer space when you're actually in a bus.
Exactly.
All right, Glenn, you got to ask one of your questions.
Yeah, you mentioned the lightsaber and the droid experience being incredible. So, Len, I just have to ask you boldly right now, can you please add the lightsaber and droid experience to the reservation finder and touring plans? I totally missed my chance to grab those for October.
I will pass that along.
No, let me ask you seriously though, Len, you're big into data and analyzing what it means. And every year we hear kind of like fire and brimstone about how Disney is too expensive, but people keep going, and crowds are easily the second loudest complaint that people have. I know this year the numbers came out that domestic attendance in the parks was actually down 3%, but revenue was up 7%. And I think most people, they harp on the attendance is down, that Disney, the sky is falling. But if the experience is improving for people when 3% less are in the park and Disney's making more money, is this a win for them? I mean, how do you read it?
I mean, I think it is a win. They don't look at number of people attending the parks. They look at revenue. So if attendance is down 3%, but revenue is up 7%, that's a win for them. And I understand that as a business, and that's actually how we run touring plans too. I'm less concerned with the actual number of subscribers, although I want that number to be high. I'm more concerned with revenue. So I understand that explicitly. The big concern that I've always had with the rising prices is this, right? There are certain parts of America that I consider shared culture, right? Football, baseball, and Disney World is one of them. Disney theme parks are one of them, right? We know that the cost of a trip to Disney World, for example, is more than 80% of American households spend on vacation every year, which means that if you're in the bottom 80% of households by income, and that's less than, I think, $110,000, it would take you multiple years of saving up, of not going on vacation at all, to save up enough money to go to Walt Disney World. And my concern is that they don't, right? That Disney World will become, instead of being something for a large swath of American households, it's the top 20% of American households who go more frequently. And from Disney's perspective, they make the same amount of money or more. So that it's not really their concern. But from a cultural perspective, right, it's
we want everyone to get a chance to go. Yeah.
It's a touchstone, right? Like it's something that we all have in common, Disney theme parks.
Yeah.
Or we should. And what happens if we don't?
I agree. It's kind of the same question I had is they keep adding attractions. How can they keep the cost down without raising prices with all of the maintenance they're going to have?
Well, let's not forget they made $12 billion last year. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
they're doing okay by a company.
Yeah, they're doing fine. And they spent $70 billion on Fox. Going back to the Millennium Falcon thing. Have you guys been on Falcon yet?
No, we're coming down in October, Len.
All right, cool. But you've heard about the ride, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So one of the things that drives me crazy is that the gunner position in the Millennium Falcon is not the gunner position that we saw in Episode 4. It doesn't work like that.
Okay.
And my point is this: the company made $12 billion last year. Iger made like $400 million. How much more would it have cost to make the gunner position actually be what we saw in Episode 4? Let's just say, hypothetically, $25 million. Right, $25 million just for that one seat or the two seats. $12 million for a gunner seat. $50 million for them in Walt Disney World Disneyland. $50 million is a lot of money. They made $12 billion.
Yeah,
$50 million is nothing.
Is this
literally? It's a rounding error, right? $50 million on $12 billion is a rounding error.
That's right.
Why not do it?
I know.
And granted, I'm saying that like it's my $50 million.
And we're saying that as a fan.
Yeah. But in the overall scheme of things, right? If that was the gunner position, I think the pilot position is more or less okay. I mean, I quibble with it, right? But if you say like the pilot position, you get to punch it into hyperspace. The gunner positions are exactly like Episode 4. You would be seeing a lot more hype around Millennium Falcon right now than you do. And so the cost cutting on things that are canon, I don't understand. And I don't understand it in the context of we've got $12.5 billion sitting in a bucket over here, which is money we made last year. Like, what's that money for if it's not to improve things?
Yeah.
And you can say like, it's to give back to shareholders. And I would sort of understand that, but that's not the decision I would have made. And again, not my company, not my $50 million. That's the kind of thing that I don't understand.
Yeah, penny smart, dollar unwise. I agree.
Yeah, like of all the things that we, $50 million would have been, again, I'm making up a number. $50 million would have been like 90 cents extra on a theme park ticket for Walt Disney World visitors. No one would have.
Yeah.
I would have probably complained about it a little bit, but I've given up complaining about ticket prices because people pay it. Okay. Yeah, I don't. It's stuff like that where it's like, we're only going to build a Millennium Falcon once. We only get one shot at it, right? Why cut corners there? I don't know.
Well, I mean, to that point, did they err entirely by theming this to Batu instead of a place we've been before?
So I've actually heard that from multiple people, and the it's a great point, Glenn. The comparison is always to Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
Where people have read the books, they've seen the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, I'm walking into something and it's exactly like it's in my head, right? I have this connection. I want to go do the things that I read about, right? The problem is, right, with Universal is they're not making any more Harry Potter books, right? So it will always be frozen in time unless J.K. Rowling decides to make more Harry Potter books, right? Or movies, in which case, they can expand it. Whereas with Star Wars, I think they wanted to avoid that scenario. They wanted not to look backward, but to look forward and say, we're going to have this land where we can adapt to new characters and tell new stories in it. Now, the downside of that is exactly what you said. No one cares about that too, right? It wasn't canon until Disney said it's canon, right? But who cares? Right.
Well, maybe, I mean, and this is just, spitballing right here, but I mean, they're still producing movies. Maybe they fold Batu into.
Oh, totally. No, it's already been part of the books.
Or another trilogy or something. It is in the books. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you saw a reference to it in Solo, right? There was a thing about Black Spires. Yeah. And so they're doing it, but that's going to take them a decade or more. And even then,
right.
Like people like me who complain about everything Disney does because it's my job, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's forced. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
it's not as bad as when they said, Star-Lord visited Epcot when he was a kid, therefore we're going to put Guardians of the Galaxy in Epcot. That was whoever wrote that should have resigned and kept their respect.
But there was a postcard, Len. How can you dispute it? A postcard. It's proof.
I'm telling you, on principle, whoever had to announce that should have resigned immediately after saying those words. And here's my resignation because I can't live with myself after this. The only honorable thing to do.
I'm going to take a totally different direction and go to our audience questions, Len.
All right, just do it.
Or get off our soapbox.
I love. There are certain things there are a lot of things in Walt Disney World that I just love. We mentioned Takumite, the Japanese restaurant. It is fantastic. I am super excited about the Skyliner. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I joke about it being 100 degrees inside those things. I'm not that worried about it. I think the Riviera looks moderately interesting. I think Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway is going to be a hoot. A lot of good things that they're doing. I
love your passion.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Can I sneak in one quick question? Because you touched there on the gondolas, and I remember
couple weeks. Actually, previews this week I heard for a transportation team.
Awesome.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, listen, Len, I remember you and Jim talking about it a couple of years ago that this was phase one of maybe three phases, 4 phases, something like that. Any word? Are they happy with how it turned out?
Well, I'm worried when the cable was down last week before the hurricane.
Yeah, I think they just brought everything down as a precaution.
Okay.
They have to see how people are going to use it and how reliable it is. But let's put it this way: they didn't spend all of that money to just do the lines that we're seeing.
Yeah,
good.
And I think it completely makes sense to go west, where you can connect Animal Kingdom. Then you get 3 parks, and then possibly Disney Springs on the other side. Yeah, but if you do, you could connect. You could go Animal Kingdom Park and Animal Kingdom Lodge, east to Blizzard Beach, and then go north to Coronado or south to All Stars, and then just maybe make Blizzard Beach the hub that goes to, let's say, the studios.
Nice.
Fun.
I love the idea. I'm looking forward to it. It's another ride.
It's another attraction.
On, with free. I mean,
but think about the postcards. Like either when you're on it, think about the Instagram possibilities when you're on it. Like, I think it's a great idea. I've loved it from the minute I heard it. It looks like they're executing on it pretty well. It's very colorful. It's moving faster than I thought. Again, very, very high up on this.
All right.
Excellent. Thanks.
All right. I'm going to go to a couple listener questions. So maybe we touched on this a little bit, but Ashley Meyer says, I want to know how long it takes to collect all this information for this huge book that you got there, Len. She says she hasn't read one in a while, but it's so detailed. How many hours are you spending on this book when you're doing a new edition?
So this, I actually calculated this. I spent just my part, right? So we have a team of people that do this, right? This isn't the editors.
Right.
It's not the proofreaders. It's not the map people. It's not the research. Like literally my time writing it. I spent the equivalent of 4 months this year.
Oh, wow.
Just writing the text. Yeah. Again, I went back and I read every word. I sort of rationalized.
All the editing. Everything. Sure.
Yeah. And then, I freshened up some of the reviews. So I went back and did for example, a new take on Country Bear Jamboree, on Jungle Cruise and things like that. Just kind of every once in a while you have to go back in. And I do this every year. I go back and I read the review and I try and think like, okay, this was true when we read it, but like if people's
I can't wait to tell my wife. She reads it from cover to cover every year. She loves it. So. So some of the reviews have definitely changed. Like I think Country Bear Jamboree in particular, I did, but also like in Epcot, right? Where in Epcot I pointed out like a lot of these things need changing. So like American Adventure has great sets and they're super detailed, right? It's one of Disney's original best presentations, but because it's such a big thing, right? Because those sets are huge and they're intricately detailed, and because people expect to see the American Adventure when they go to Epcot, right? They can never refurbish it, right? So the scenes and the dialogue and the script that Disney wrote in the late 1970s for its 1982 opening, right? That America doesn't exist anymore. Right. We know different things about ourselves right now. We think about gender parity or racial equality differently now than we did 40 years ago. And so how do you update that in a ride? And the reason why I mention it in Epcot is, number one, to prepare people to say, this is not a modern take on modern America. This was 40 years ago. But there's still some universally good things about it, right? There's some parts in there that are still very good. It's not going to be perfect.
And especially younger people will notice these sorts of themes, right? That, the American Adventure thinks that things like, gender equality and racial equality and income inequality, that all of those things are basically settled, and they're not, right? But still, it's a great ride. So we point out those things in the book too. So it's not only like how have the rides changed or not changed, but sort of how do we look at the rides from a society?
Nice.
And does the message still make sense? Yeah.
All right. Well, this one's from Gretchen Crook, and she's a neighbor of mine, but she's not going to be a friend anymore after this question. So just remember, I didn't write this question, Glenn. But she said, first of all, she praises you. She says she loves that guy, but she wants to know the accuracy of the crowd calendar. She's saying that it's touring plans was my go-to, but not so much anymore. Have you had some challenges with the crowd calendar?
So we did. Actually, it's got better in the last couple of months. There were.
I know January was tough for us, man. I couldn't believe January this past year.
So we did. We had problems in the first 6 weeks of January, the first 6 weeks of this year, and actually the first 6 weeks of last year. So one of the things that I did earlier this year is we had the stats team go over every step in the process that we use to model the data. And we looked at things like, number one, at a high level, are we using the right technology? Are we using the right models? Is there anything that we could, alternative things that we could try, and things like that? And then at a lower level, it's like, is this data correct, right? We're saying, for example, that, the wait time was 15 minutes at Space Mountain at 8 a.m. on January 1st. Well, was it really? And how do we know that? And we fixed a lot of things. There were issues that we found in there that definitely affected the quality of our predictions. The other thing that I did is I ended up hiring outside groups to come in and say, can you do better than the existing model? And we're still working on. So I hired 6 different groups. 5 of them did not work, did not produce better results than we did. One has some promising ideas. By the way, of those 6 groups, more than half were PhDs.
Wow.
Spent a lot of money on that. So we have, it's one of our core products. So the short answer is there were some issues earlier this year. I think we're addressing them, and definitely over the last couple of months, it's been much more accurate.
Awesome.
As we fix those things. The thing that's been throwing it off, frankly, right now is Galaxy's Edge.
Sure.
We thought it would be much more crowded than it was.
Yeah,
I think everyone did.
Yeah, right. No doubt. All right. Hey, Tony Tovar, he says, when a new land opens, does it affect their data for one park, or does it have repercussions at all the 4 parks? And which had the bigger impact, Pandora or Star Wars Galaxy's Edge?
We in the models we have this concept of attraction newness. Like, how new is this attraction?
Yeah.
What we're looking for there is like, how does a new attraction in a particular area, especially a big attraction like Pandora or Millennium Falcon, how does it affect the things around it?
Yeah.
And so we're able to look at those things, and like in New Fantasyland was a great example where rides opened at different times. Some of them were big, some of them were small, but we had this concept of newness where we could track and say, as this new ride came on, this is how it affected the things around it. Similarly, in Pandora, we could do that. Toy Story Land was another good example. Not so much in Epcot because like the third theater for Soarin' or the new film really didn't have the impact of like a brand new ride. And Epcot's not had very many brand new rides. But we track that. And that's how we make the predictions. In terms of impact, I would say, again, very early on Galaxy's Edge, but Pandora definitely had a much larger effect on Animal Kingdom than Galaxy's Edge had said on Disneyland or Disney Hollywood Studios, like by a wide margin, not even close.
Now, this guy has been with us for a long time from the Isle of Wight. Kevin Curtis Allen says he loves Len, and I don't know what this means. Hopefully you'll know. Ask him for his Jammy Dodgers story.
Oh my God. Okay. So
sounds funny.
Jammy Dodgers are a cookie. They're a shortbread cookie.
Oh, they're
in the UK.
They're English. Yeah. Okay.
English. Okay. So Bob and I did a book on British theme parks back in 2012. And so I spent a month in England visiting theme parks. It was one of the most fun trips I've ever had.
I bet.
And because it's the UK and they drive on the different side of the road than us, I decided I was not going to rent a car. I was going to take the train and the metro system and the tube everywhere. So I did. That's how I literally got around England. I bought a Brit Rail first class ticket.
Nice.
An unlimited, use it as much as you want for a month thing. And that's how I got around England. if you've ever ridden a subway system, you know that like there are little shops, stores in the subway, like when you get on off. And Victoria Station in the UK is my favorite one. All kinds of shopping. It's a mall that's attached to a subway terminal.
Yeah.
And so every night when I would get back from my research, I would go through the shops and I would pick up British cookies, which are insanely inexpensive and delicious. Like you could get a pound, like 16 ounces of very good cookies.
No wonder he sends me
$2.
care packages from the UK, and they got these things in there. No wonder he's sending them to me.
So I got addicted to these shortbread cookies with raspberry filling called Jamie Dodgers.
Yeah.
99 pence. So like $1.30 or $1.40.
Yeah.
For a sleeve of cookies. And
how much weight did you put on this trip?
I actually lost 6 pounds because I was walking so much. Could have lost more. Yeah, but I got addicted to these. So every night I would buy like packages of cookies, and Jamie Dodgers were my favorite. And I would, I'd spend like $3 on cookies or whatever, and I would eat them with tea in the morning for breakfast before I went out.
Nice.
So I got addicted. So I went to the UK pavilion in Epcot and they had Jamie Dodgers. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to buy the Jamie Dodgers. But instead of being the 99 pence, the $1, 30 or 40 or whatever, they were like $7.
Of course.
And so I go up to and I bought one. I had to buy them because I hadn't had them.
Because you're hooked. You got to.
So this was a few years ago before they're actually in Publix. They're in Publix now.
Oh, okay.
But I go up to the cashier and she's ringing me up and I'm like, aren't these 99p at home? And she looked at me and gave me the eye roll, like, don't start with me. Like, I know.
She's like you caught me.
Believe what they're charging.
You got me.
But yeah. No, it was more like, I know. I can't believe that they're charging.
Right.
$7 for Jamie Dodgers. But now they're in Publix, and I could not be happier. Jamie Dodgers are fantastic.
Your addiction continues.
You're ever in the UK, the two things I recommend, and I'm not kidding here. Buy food in subway stations and eat food on the train. It's a lot of fun.
I can't wait to do that trip one of these days. That's an awesome story. Thank you, Kevin.
My all-time favorite hotel, I'll do a shout out here. The Sofitel in Terminal 5 of Heathrow is the single best hotel in the entire world. Oh. I will accept no dissent.
How come?
Why?
Yeah. It is a little oasis of dark spa tranquility. Like you don't even know that you're in an airport. Number one, everything is so self-contained. You're in your own little bubble, but the rooms are exceptionally comfortable. The showers are like someone pouring hot buckets of water over you, like that kind of volume.
Yeah. Oh, love that.
Tiled floors. Everything's plush. There's like a million
pampered
satellite TV channels. Yeah, I mean, you could like the bed just like envelops you.
Yeah, I like that.
It is an amazing hotel. Anyway, all right, go ahead.
That would be a great story to end on. But I got to ask one more from Mandy Ray Malinowski. This is more of a technical question, but I got to get this one in there. She says she'd love to hear your thoughts on where Disney is going with the FastPass Plus system. Does he think it's going to come to an end soon? It's obviously in need of a rehab. What would he do with it? In his opinion, what's its strengths and weaknesses? So this is news to me, but does that ring a bell at all?
Yeah. So I think the original FastPass system was great in a number of ways, in that you could, if you wanted to get up early in the morning and you were willing to do some legwork, you could get a lot of paper FastPasses.
Yeah. Right.
So, and the thing that I liked about it was you put in some effort, you got a reward, right?
Yeah.
Nothing more American than that.
Right.
But Disney, rightfully so, recognized this legitimate complaint, right? If I'm staying at the Grand Floridian and I'm spending $4,000 to $10,000 on my vacation, I do not want to have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to be at the park at 8 for when it opens at 9 to get fast passes, so I don't have to wait in line for Space Mountain. I'm dropping $10,000.
Yeah,
I should not have to do that on my vacation.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So FastPass Plus, because it allows you to make reservations in advance without having to be in the park, addresses that direct concern, which I understand.
Yep.
Right. And the other thing that FastPass has done is that it's sort of like spread crowds around the park. It has evened things out. It has lowered the wait times at headliner attractions.
Yeah.
It has brought up the wait times at some underutilized attractions. From an operations research perspective, and I think I've said this before, one of the great success stories of the last decade. FastPass.
You gotta love that.
You know, I got to sneak this question because I was thinking about this. In January, I noticed the FastPass line's like really long. Like maybe that must really mess you guys up.
We actually started timing them because of that. But here's one of the things that I heard. In January, they started changing the way that they measure the standby line. Before, you used to get those red flick cards.
Right.
They stopped doing that, and they went to monitoring how you progress using your magic bands in line. Oh. So when you go into a line,
okay, they're tracking you. Yeah.
And that algorithm, right, for figuring out how long the standby lines were and the ratio of fast pass guest use, that all took some figuring out. I think that's getting much better now.
Okay, good, thank you.
But the question that we always have with FastPass is this, right? There's Disney's a publicly traded company. We mentioned the $12 billion they made last year. Wall Street expects them to make more money every year, right, than they did in the previous year.
Right.
One of the things that they have that's an asset that is very hard to get elsewhere is ride reservations. So why wouldn't you sell fast passes, right? And we've seen a little bit about this before. Remember they did that program where if you stayed at a club level, you could buy 3 more fast passes, I think, for $50 per person per day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. That seems to be successful enough that they're continuing it. And then you see in Disneyland Paris, right, where you can buy additional fast passes for a certain amount of money.
Yep.
Right. I would not be surprised to see that come to the United States.
More, not getting rid of the 3, but just more.
No. So there'll be, so you'll have
bonus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Glenn's got an answer for that, right, Glenn?
Yeah, I invented a game.
He invented the Kessler Run.
Named after the Kessler Run. We try to get as many fast passes in a day. My record's 18 fast passes in a day.
18,
just one after another. As soon as you tap, you're on the app.
Yeah, we're gonna play.
Fantastic.
We're gonna play that game when we're down there. We're having an event for the podcast called the Grand Geeking Gathering, the G3, and we got a bunch of little fun events that we're doing. We're doing a bingo game. Glenn's gonna do that. We got lots of little things going on. It reminded me, Glenn. I was listening back, Len, I was listening back to the last time you were on, and you were talking about the first time you had an event, and you had like RSVPs of like 50 people at the Mexican Pavilion. And so we've got 50 people that have RSVP'd, but I don't think we're going to
100, man.
I don't know that we're going to get 300. Did you end up getting 300? I think you said in that story.
Yeah. So we ended up with a little over 300 people.
I don't think that's going to happen to us, but it was kind of fun to listen back to that. Hey, Glenn, did you get,
I mentioned that last week. So last week was a couple weeks ago, was the 10th anniversary of La Cava opening at Mexico, and I was there on their 10th anniversary to buy some tequila.
Yes, I did. And I did hear that.
And so there were a couple people there that remembered that story, and we had a good laugh about it. Like, remember the time we violated the fire code at Walt Disney World?
I think I'm going to be all right. We're going to go there for 11 a.m. and you got enough space there. If we bring 50 people, I don't think they're probably going to. They'll have to work. We're gonna go to the cantina outdoor.
You'll be fine. Yeah.
That's my favorite. The Mexican frozen lime margarita has been a classic for us ever since we first started going to Disney World. So that's where we're gonna meet.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, Glenn, did you have any last questions?
No questions. Just wanted to say thank you to Len. And Len, I've been a big fan of yours for years. Love listening to you on the Disney Dish with Jim Hill every week. Is that really where we can find you if we need our Len Testa fix for the week?
Yeah, definitely. So disneydish.bandcamp.com. We try and put an episode out every Monday. You can also reach me. I'm Len at touringplans.com, or you can follow all of us at touringplans on Instagram and Twitter. Len,
do you do any public speaking these days?
I'm not this year. Generally, I do a couple every year. Nothing yet for the fall, but possibly in the spring.
When how do you announce that?
It'll be either on the blog or on the podcast. So the last half dozen I've done have been universities, like math departments or computer science departments,
right?
Inviting me to talk about Disney and math. So I've been doing that.
Okay, because I'd love a
couple of high schools in there too. But I always open up with the same joke, and it never gets old to me. But it's like, thank you for inviting me to your school. Normally, I'm not allowed within 500 feet of school children, so this is great. And just sort of look at like what the administrator's reaction to that is.
Yeah. Kind of a stunned.
Exactly. Like that's a joke.
I hope he's kidding.
Yeah. So,
especially in today's world.
I know. Yeah. So,
well,
but if I do anything, I'll announce it on the blog or the podcast.
Perfect. Well, again, thanks. I hope we don't wait 3 more years before we have you back on. We certainly appreciate
if you guys are down in October, when's your trip in October?
So we're going to be there the end of October, the last week. So we're going to be, That's where we're going to be there.
Send me an email or check with me before you get in there. I might be there.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you live in the area, so.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I'll definitely connect and let you know where we're going to be. I can put you on my instant messaging. I'm going to be messaging everybody that's down there. So we're going to have a pretty good crew. We're going to have some fun. Some people that have been part of the podcast for years. We're getting to meet for the first time. So we are pretty excited.
Well,
Awesome.
I think I want Len on my Kessler Run team.
Yeah. Hey, you can't. That is not fair. That is cheating.
That's awesome.
Len, thank you again. Len, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Kurt. Thanks, Len. It was good talking to you guys.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Well, the number one tip we have for you is that you got to have a plan when you go to Disney World, and there's not a better book in the world to plan your Disney World vacation than the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Who better to have on the show than Len Testa? He is awesome. Thank you, Glenn, for all you've done over the years to help us plan our Disney World trips. And I do plan on emailing Len and see if I can meet up with him down in Disney World for my October trip. I would love to meet Len Testa. That would be so awesome. Maybe some of our geeks can meet Len also. Well, hey, thanks for the intros. We love these intros coming in from our Geekin' family. I found this one back in the archives from Glen Kessler from last October. I thought it fit really well with this episode, and I love it when I hear the kids on the intros too. That's great. Thank you so much, Harrison. And I'd love to have some more Geekin' intros. You can create one for us. It's fun. And I can suggest all you got to do is tell us your name, where you're from, a fun Disney World fact about yourself, and that you go geeking on Walt Disney World with Curtis and Lindsay and the whole Geekin' family. Just record something on your phone. Could be a video, audio. There's lots of programs on your mobile phone for recording those kinds of things, and email them to me, kurt.stone@geekinonwdw.com. As usual, the Facebook group has been really hopping. Lots of great information out there. I've been posting a daily countdown to our October Grand Geekin' Gathering trip. It's happening as I record this in 26 days. It's getting close. Well, in celebration and anticipation for this epic trip, I've also been giving away a weekly Geek of the Week prize. All I ask is that you comment on my daily Facebook countdown posts, and you can win one of these beautiful 8x10 pictures of one of your Disney World trips and pictures. And I'll ask you to pick out your favorite trip picture, and then I'll order up one of these 8x10s and mail it directly to you. This week's winner is Wendy Fox. Well, Wendy, congratulations. You've been a very active member in our Facebook group, and I know you're going to the Grand Geekin' Gathering. So I've met her last January. I'm excited to see Wendy again and all of the Geekin' family when we get down there this coming October. Wendy also joined me in my weekly book study group. Yeah, we started a book study group. We are studying a book by Max Lucado. It's a brand new book of his called How Happiness Happens, Finding Lasting Joy in a World of Comparison, Disappointment, and Unmet Expectations. I had 3 others join us in this book study group. It was really fun to talk through the book with Wendy, and also Carl Casavecchia, Amy Beckner, and Travis Dietrich. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to set up a meeting for this coming Thursday, 8 p.m. if you'd like to join in on the book study group. Next episode is going to be Bubba Mack. He joins me to review his Disney Moon. So look for that, Bubba. It's coming soon. I hope we got some pictures that you can share with me so I can put out there on my website and the Facebook group. I do have some bad news this week. I shut down the Inner Circle podcasts this week. Yeah. But I got some good news. I started to release those live trip report recordings in the Geekin' on WDW podcast feed. Yes, this past Saturday I released the first one. It's episode 306 of this show. It just seems so difficult for people to have a password and ID to get into the Inner Circle to listen to those shows, and set it up with a mobile app was kind of a pain. So I'm dropping it. And I'm going to start releasing those now. There's 12 of those, and then I got more episodes coming. So look for those. Usually on end of the weeks, I'll release those as bonus episodes to the podcast. So look for those. I hope you enjoy listening to those live trip report recordings. Yeah, we got a family reunion coming up this October. Come join us in the October 2019 Grand Geekin' Gathering. The official meetup is October 27th, 11 a.m. at the Mexican Pavilion. Also, we've got some fun things going on. We do have a private Facebook group for that if you want to get in on that. And then I'll create a messenger group. So when I'm down there, you'll know where I am. Most of the time, I keep people posted what's going on. sisters Selena Roll and Jackie Cole. They've got a scavenger hunt. There's got a little bingo game. We're going to give away prizes on October 27th for everyone who filled out the bingo card. There's going to be a grand prize of a limited edition print from Glen Kessler's painting collection. Auntie Judy, she's got 100 keychains that she's made up. Kevin Curtis Allen's got goodie bags he's handing out. It's going to be epic. I know we've got over 60 people in the private Facebook group, so we'll see how many people show up at that event. There's lots of fun things going on that weekend. The events are all listed in that private Facebook group. Oh, and I also ordered, I'm trying something new. I ordered 10 fridge magnets of our logo. I got those in the mail. They look pretty good. So I went right ahead. They had a sale going on too on this company called Sticker Mule, and I ordered 100 more. So if you see me down there in the parks during the Grand Geeking Gathering, make sure I get you one of the fridge magnets. You know what's making this all possible for me to do these prizes and support the podcast? It's the Patreon supporters. So thank you again for helping me create more fun and educational Disney World content for you geeks. You too can support us on patreon.com. Just search for Geekin' on WDW on patreon.com. We've got people supporting us at $5, $10. I even got someone at $20 per month. So I really appreciate that. It's so exciting that you guys do that for me, and I appreciate it so much. So go out to patreon.com and find Geekin' on WDW and support us with a monthly pledge. Now, still, when you sign up for our email list, I'm still going to call it the Inner Circle. We just won't have the private podcast there anymore, but you will get a PDF download, the Geekin' Family 9 Keys to a Disney World Vacation. It's great for beginning Disney World travelers. It's got all the basics on what you need to do to plan a great vacation. So you can download that. And if you've got friends that are asking about their vacations, you can send that over to them. We also got a newsletter, the Geekin' Gazette, whenever I got some interesting Disney news and information on Disney package discounts and news from the Geekin' family, I'll send out the Geekin' Gazette. There's also a couple free handouts. We got a free packing checklist and a spreadsheet that you can use to plan your trip like we use for ourselves and our travel clients. So go out to our website, geekinonwdw.com/inner circle, sign up for our email list. Each week we share awesome tips for your Disney trip planning, but you can instantly gain that advantage by booking with us. Mama, Auntie Judy, EJ Cruz, and Jennifer Glambo. So you can email Judy and Mama at travelingtiaras@gmail.com. You can find EJ and Jennifer on their Little Dole Whips Facebook page. We are authorized Disney vacation planning agency through Fairy Tale Concierge. Two of the most popular ways that we've been helping guide people with their trips has been the bounce backs. Yeah, when you're down there at Disney World, one of the best discount packages you can get if you can book your next trip while you're still on your current trip. They've got a free meal plan going on right now through October, so definitely check that out. It's well worth it to put your deposit down on your next trip and take advantage of the bounce backs. Those are usually good. And even when this October one ends, I bet they'll have some good discounts for that. So always check that out. And if you just joined the podcast and you're liking what you're hearing, you'd like to work with us, and if you'd like to transfer your booking, if you've already got one, if it's been within the last 30 days and you've not yet paid the trip in full, you can book with us. And don't forget, people don't even, sometimes this is the funniest thing ever. They don't believe me that our services are free. We'll help you book fast passes, help you book your restaurants. We'll give you lots of great advice, and you'll enjoy working with us. I am sure that's what the feedback we get from our Geekin' family. So contact us if you'd like to do a transfer too. Well, if you've got any questions for me, you can email me at kurt.stone@geekinonwdw.com. I love hearing from you guys. It's a goal of mine to talk individually with as many listeners as I possibly can. I love to meet everyone in person. I can't wait for the Grand Geeking Gathering. You can always get on the phone or Skype or FaceTime. Just reach out to me and let's talk. Thanks for going geeking on Walt Disney World with us. We really appreciate you listening and geeking with us every single day. We love you, geeks. Have a magical day, and I hope all your dreams come true.
It doesn't even ring.
Yeah. Look.
Hey there, Len.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. I got my buddy Glen Kessler's here too. He's going to co-host with me.
Hey, Len.
How's it going, Glenn?
Good, man.
It doesn't ring when I bring someone else in.
Huh.
You just pop in.
That's awesome.
How you been?
Not bad. You?
I can't believe it's been 3 years since we talked last.
Has it really been that long?
It's like I looked just about. It was like the fall 3 years ago.
Was it really?
Yeah. Time
That's crazy.
We're getting old.
I still look pretty, man.
I wish I could say the same. Oh, that's great.
As I was talking to my college roommate who over the weekend, because we talk like every 6 months when it's not football season, but we both like the same football teams.
Yeah.
So we there for a couple of days during football season, and his daughter. So my daughter's finishing college. His daughter is like halfway through, and we're like, how is it they're so old and yet we are so young? and my friend Andy was like, at some point they're going to be older than us if this keeps up. That's going to be awkward.
I love your attitude.
I know, right? Okay.
I'm going to try to stay young. Yeah. Best I can. Keep moving, right?
Exactly. Don't stop. Don't stop learning.
Yeah. So. Well, that's a fact.
Right.
All right. So, yeah, sorry for all the questions that we sent to you.
No, they're all good. They're all good.
But we had that question.
Yeah,
Glenn had that question.
I was say, Len, I'm a big fan of yours, man. I've been listening to the podcast, Disney Dish for a while, and WDW Today. Used to love you on there. Every time I hear West Side, I just go
West Side.
So good to talk to you. Really.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Glenn's a geek, so
yeah.
I knew he'd have fun talking too, so I brought him. So we're gonna alternate some questions, and then we'll do our questions for like 45 minutes, and I'll bring in some of the audience questions for the last 15, and that's how we'll roll. I'm ready to go. Let's do it, guys.
Ready when you are.
I'll introduce Glenn, and then I have an introduction for you because I took some notes from last time we talked. So hope you enjoy it.
All right. I'm excited.
We like to do fun facts for our intros. So that's what we're going to do. All right. And he was the first learner. Yeah. First beep. He sees the park hours as, wait, I'm really screwing up. He sees the park. He sees parks. All right. So I'll let Lillian know when this is ready. This is great. I will get this out. I think it'll be a couple weeks.
It'll be fine. Yeah, let me know. Yep. And if you get any questions from listeners on it, send them to me, and then let me know when it comes out, and I will share the link on our social media.
Perfect. Awesome. Glenn, have a great night. Glenn, thank you so much for joining us. Glenn and Len was getting hard for me there.
Totally understand. I appreciate it.
There was that one guy who emailed. He wrote, "What are Glenn's thoughts on ground levels at the moment?" It's like,
I had somebody quote me on some article last month, and they referred to me as Len, but as a woman, and did it on two separate articles. Like they broke up their research into two articles, and then like a week later, I got this like abject apology from their editor. Like, we didn't realize you're a guy. Like, dude, you spelled my name right. That's all I care about. You got the link right in the website. I don't care.
There's I guess I knew a Lenny. I knew a Lenny at church that was a woman.
Sometimes people pronounce it Lynn.
Lynn. Oh, okay.
I was going to say on WGW Today, one of the guys always says Lynn, and it just
irks you. Yeah.
Every time I hear it.
Yeah. It's fun.
Oh my gosh, you're so much fun, Len. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks, you too. See you guys.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.